The white Chenin Blanc grape is a native of France's Loire Valley, but did you know that it's been grown successfully on the southern tip of Africa for almost 250 years? On the show today, a Chenin Blanc from South Africa that's a bit special, made from old vines and barrel fermented, and coming right up. Hi guys, welcome to yet another edition of Bigonwine, the show which, as always, brings you news, clues and reviews. Indeed, it tries to keep you up to speed with just about everything that's happening in the world of wine. And indeed, this week we head for the Southern Hemisphere to South Africa, and my wine of the week is this one here. It goes under the name of Stellenrust, 54-year-old vines, barrel fermented Chenin Blanc, and the vintage is 2018. And this wine comes in for a price where I am of just under €20 a bottle. Okay, so this has to be a bit special if it's €20 a bottle, doesn't it? Let's try and paint the picture of where this wine is from. It's from South Africa, as I said a moment ago, from the coastal region. And in fact, the wine region here is Stellenbosch. Now, Stellenbosch is one of the biggest areas in South Africa for wines, and the Stellenbosch wine region is just about 50 kilometers or so east of Cape Town and 20 kilometers back off the coast. And the winery here is Stellenrust, and Stellenrust have a long history of producing great wines, including Chenin Blanc. Stellenrust was established in 1928, and this wine is part of their super premium collection. So a bit of a one-off, this one. All right, now the grape in question is the Chenin Blanc, grown in a single vineyard beneath the Botolari Hills. So one vineyard here in question with old vines, 54 years old at the time of harvest in 2018. Okay, now the Chenin Blanc grape is a grape that originates in France's Loire Valley, south of Paris, and it's famed for its high acidity, and for that reason Chenin Blanc is often used to produce sparkling wine. It's been grown in South Africa since the late 17th century, where it's often known by the name Steen. Okay, now Chenin Blanc is one of these grapes that has to be nicely, carefully handled because the timing of the harvest is of great importance. Quality is the key at Stellenrust, and this particular wine, the 2018 vintage, has been 9 months in French and Hungarian oak. All right, that's the backstory to this wine. Let's take a look at the wine in the glass, and as we can see, it has a wonderful straw gold, a mellow straw gold colour, I would say, slightly darker than usual. Now remember, this has been in oak for 9 months, so some of the colour is undoubtedly from the oak there. So a very, very mellow, dark straw gold, we might call that, on this wine. Looks extremely nice. All right, let's try it in the nose and see how we get on. Here we go. Now, this wine has a very, very open, fruity aroma to it. Perhaps the predominant aroma in the nose here is a kind of a toastiness, almost like a nuttiness to the aroma on this wine. But beneath that, I think, as the wine gets a little warmer, the aromas of those different fruits, very exotic fruits, are opening up. Certainly some yellow plum and citrus in this wine. All right, let's try the wine now in the mouth. Let's see whether those hints of fruit are carried over into actual flavours in the mouth. Here we go. Now in the mouth, the wine really starts to unfold. It's a mouth-filling experience, this. It's extremely good. This is a dry wine, 13.5% alcohol, 5 grams, just 5 grams of per litre of residual sugar, putting it firmly in the dry category, naturally. The nose suggests toastiness and nuttiness, but in the palate, it's the fruit which is open and on display to us here. Now I'm getting, in addition to the citrus and the yellow plum, a hint of peach, a fair dash, I think, here of honeymelon. In the mouth, it's extremely abundant, it's big in the mouth filling. It has that kind of creamy, nutty finish, which undoubtedly goes down to that French and Hungarian oak. And right at the end, there's an interesting note. Let's see whether we can put a name to it. It's almost a kind of a creamy, toffee, butterscotchy kind of flavour in the long finish of this wine. Wonderful, still unfolding in the mouth as I speak, with that citrus and plum lingering long. Okay, so this is an excellent and unusual wine. This isn't your bog standard Chenin Blanc by any means. This is barrel fermented and aged for 9 months. What are we going to be enjoying this with? Well, I think, you know, this is a wine with sufficient flavour to it that it'll cope very nicely with game birds like duck, for example, and also naturally this is a wine which will go extremely well with fish, especially pink-fleshed fish. But I think this is a wine also that will run very easily to other kinds of white meat, even to pork. Now, the serving temperature for this wine is important. I think for your ordinary Chenin Blanc, you're looking at about 8 degrees centigrade. For a wine of this quality, I would just lift that a little. I would say 9 or 10 degrees is probably the correct temperature for this wine here. Let's bring you the heads up on this one. The Loire Valley is where Chenin Blanc originates, but beyond that, the biggest area of Chenin Blanc under cultivation is in South Africa. This comes from the very, very southern tip of South Africa. It's creamy, it's nutty, it's big in flavour, lemon, apple, peach, honeymelon. It's not cheap, but it's an excellently produced wine. Stellenrust, 54-year-old vines, barrel fermented Chenin Blanc, vintage 2018, 4 stars out of 5. Okay folks, many thanks for tuning in and checking out this week's video. And of course this was a little introduction to a South African Chenin Blanc from the top drawer, quality stuff from Stellenbosch there. Lovely. Okay, if you enjoyed what you've seen and heard, then please feel free to give us a big thumbs up. Yep, drop us a like, we do enjoy getting those. Put a comment down below, share the video around to your heart's content. And if you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and while you're about it, hit that bell icon down below and you'll be informed about all future uploads. And naturally, I'll be back again next week with another great wine of the week for you. But until we meet again, this is Tony Melville signing off and saying, hey, take care out there, be good to each other.